Yeah, hey Chris, we are in West Phoenix right now inside ADOT's Traffic Operations Center. This is a facility that has staff working 24/7, 365 as it is, but a day like today they're going to be working extra hard. Take a look. These are live cameras that you're looking at. They are positioned all over the state. You have folks from ADOT, DPS in this room that are watching everything that's going on to make sure you stay safe out on the roads. For more on exactly what has gone into all of this planning, what's happening right now, I want to bring in Doug Pacey. Doug, thank you so much for taking time out of such a busy day already. I guess for those who have never seen inside this room, talk a little bit about what is going on in here and what we're looking at.
Yeah, this is our Traffic Operations Center for ADOT. It's the only one we have in the state. It's here in Phoenix. You just saw the monitors on the wall just a moment ago. We have 40, 55-inch monitors. We have our dispatchers, our ADOT dispatchers in here. DPS has representatives in here. We can access all our 550 some cameras that are statewide. We can change the overhead message boards with information as if there's a crash or weather, things like that. Having DPS and ADOT in here together, it helps us communicate, get the right resources to the right event really quickly so we can put in traffic control if that's needed, and so we can keep the public moving and keep them safe.
And I notice up in the top right corner there is the radar. So talk a little bit about when you hear the National Weather Service issue a flood watch and they're, forecasting this type of weather event that we're expecting this weekend. What is the planning that goes into this?
Yeah, we've been working with the National Weather Service for mostly the entire week, the past few days especially, on being prepared, understanding what the weather forecast is, where it might hit, what areas are forecast to see maybe 1 or 2 inches or maybe more, things like that, so we can prepare our crews and address any issues that we have out in the field, and we can station crews if we need to move some from one location to another location in preparation for a storm or a weather event. That gives us the ability to do that.
We were talking off camera a little bit before this about the I-17, the underpasses there. If you've lived in Arizona a long time, you know that there are certain areas around the state in the valley that have been prone to flooding. There's been a lot of work that's been done in that area. Can you talk about what changes have been made there?
Yeah, up until in summer of 2023, a project to update and upgrade those smaller pump stations along I-17 between Peoria and Greenway. So if you were here before then, you would see that those underpasses would see standing water when we got a lot of rain. Since the summer of 2023, when that system was upgraded, that work occurred and happened. They performed as expected, and they've been much better. We haven't had the issues like we've had in the past.
Wow. But in years past, and I'm sure there are other areas that you guys see, since you have all of these cameras and are constantly getting live looks, there are certain areas that I'm sure you guys are keeping an extra eye on once that rain starts to move in?
Yeah, it's areas and also what is happening. Like right now, we're entering the afternoon commute. It's about 3:30-ish, almost 3:30. As we get going, we'll keep a really close eye on the Phoenix metro area, places around here, also the Tucson metro area. And even though we're supposed to get rain, we still have all the other things that aren't rain related. Because right now in the Phoenix metro area, it's pretty dry, knock on wood, but we still have crashes. I see a crash right up there on Loop 101 near Southern that's blocking center lanes. And so we're still responding to those, I'll call them other incidents, the regular type run-of-the-mill incidents. We're still responding to those. But as far as looking at other locations, we know where traffic can back up. We stage crews if we think it's necessary, depending on the weather event. And that could be in the Phoenix metro area. It could be statewide, and it also depends on what kind of weather we're expecting and where it might be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that we are talking about as well that is certainly to your advantage, that you have 550 or so cameras all over the state, so you can see, okay, it's raining in Flagstaff right now. That means that we may have, however much time before it makes its way to the valley. So you guys are constantly monitoring the conditions all over the state.
We can. Obviously we look at weather reports from the Weather Service and other things like that. But having the cameras gives us the ability to get real-time eyes on locations around the state. And whether it looks like it's pretty dry here in Phoenix, but it does look like Flagstaff is kind of wet, that I-17 corridor, maybe near Table Mesa Road north towards Sedona, Prescott, and further points further north. But we'll see what the weather brings us.
You guys see, I'm sure, some wild situations unfolding all day, every day. When it comes to what you've noticed in, storms past, let's say, when it comes to drivers, what advice would you give to drivers if they do need to be out on the road tonight and this weekend?
Yeah, when the roads are wet, it's pretty simple, really simple. Slow down, don't tailgate. Leave a lot of space, extra space between your car and the car in front of you. If your wipers are on, turn your headlights on, even if it's not nighttime. and just give yourself extra time because the roads can be slick when there's water on them, when they're wet. So slow down, obey the speed limit, and don't tailgate.
And turn around, don't drown is something we
Exactly.
hear all
Yeah,
the time.
turn around, don't drown. Do not drive into flooded washes. Don't drive into flooded roadways. A foot of water can carry a car away, but even if there's only a few inches of water out in there, anything could be submerged under that surface of the water. You may not see it, and it could be something that could do damage to your vehicle.